Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
And welcome back to your New York Sports Update. I'm your host, Ernest Patty for WIUR, and let's get started. All right. So, if you're a New York Giants fan like myself, and you're asking yourself, can the season get any worse? Yes, it can. The Giants are not playing well, and that was pretty evident this weekend against the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Giants lose another one, 27-20, in kind of the typical Giants fashion, and the typical Jameis Winston fashion, if you will. Yeah, from a fan's perspective, you saw this game and you're thinking, okay, Jameis Winston can maybe give us some form of hope, right? To maybe get us a win and, kind of save the Giants fans from this terrible dream or terrible dream that we're having right now. But couldn't do that. So the Giants are now 2-9, looking to kind of save the rest of this season if they can. I don't think they can. There's only a few games left before playoffs, which the Giants did not make. If that was a shock to you, then I'm sorry. But yeah, Giants aren't making it. So what else do we have? We have kind of nothing right now as a Giants fan. But anyway, we'll take you through this game. We'll look at the upcoming matchup against the Lions this weekend, and some other news in Yankees world, and that's kind of it, right? We're kind of just scraping through the rest of the season, but anyway, if you didn't catch the game, the Giants lost again, 27-20 to the Packers. It was a tight game for most of the game, right? But they hung around, but Green Bay just outplayed us, if you will, and we also kind of handcuffed ourselves, if you will. The Giants offense kind of moved the ball decently, but stalled out a lot in important moments in the game. But overall, just kind of looked rough, right? Anyway, the Giants struck first on a good touchdown drive, and it looked like the Giants were gonna maybe upset the Packers a little bit. At some point early in the game, it looked like the Giants were gonna have an easy win once Jordan Love left the game with an apparent shoulder injury. And when you see Malik Willis come into the game, you're thinking like, oh, Giants up, up 7, and the backup quarterback's already in the game. You're thinking, okay, the Giants defense, guys that has guys like Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. You're thinking like, whoa, okay, against a rookie quarterback, like awesome, we got this. And then he goes and throws a touchdown immediately after coming in, after a pretty good drive. And then you're thinking like, okay, this looks bad. And then the game just got progressively worse from there, right? They responded like immediately with a touchdown to Christian Watson, his first of the day. And then the backup kicker came in, Havarisk. He missed the extra point. So the score was actually left at 6-7. I hate that I just made that joke, but we're gonna pass. We're gonna go past that. In the second quarter, the Giants defense couldn't contain the Packers. giving up another touchdown to Emmanuel Wilson, who replaced an injured Josh Jacobs. Now, if you have Josh Jacobs on your team, he may or may not play this weekend. I think it was an ankle injury, uh, but he's a pretty durable running back in the sense that he's had injuries before and hasn't missed more than a couple games. So if you're too worried about that playoff push coming up in a couple weeks, I'd be I wouldn't be worried. I think he plays. I think he plays this weekend, or maybe if they give him a weekend off, he will come back next weekend. But anyway, after that, the Giants marched down the field late in the second with 6 minutes to play and scored with a minute before halftime on a rushing touchdown by Singletary, his actual second of the day. Um, then, in true Giants fashion, kicker Younghoe Koo missed the extra point, leaving the game tied at 13 apiece. And with a minute left, the Giants defense made a rare stop, leaving the game tied at half. Now, when you have the game tied at the half against a very good offense like Green Bay, you're thinking, okay, great. We are the favorite to lose by more than a touchdown. We have the game tied. And you're thinking like, sweet. We have, room to improve here, right? But that was not the case. The third quarter was a bit of a grind. The Packers opened up the second half with a touchdown pass to rookie, not rookie, excuse me, to pass. Touchdown pass to Josh Wiley. From there, it was truly a defensive game, and the Giants' defense looked pretty good at this point. But Green Bay was a little bit better. They stopped the Giants in the red zone late in the third. That actually could have helped the Giants maintain a lead, I think, if they were able to score on that drive. And then a note here in that third quarter, there were many fourth down conversions by the Giants. And so that kind of showed new head coach Mike Kafka kind of showed his aggressiveness in his first game as head coach. You like to see that. I think if the Giants I think the Giants will go after somebody else for this head coaching job. But I think this was a good showing of, hey, I can coach a team and I can call the plays, to help the team, right? I thought it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. From there, halfway through the fourth quarter, the Giants march down the field and score on a 1 yard rushing touchdown by Jameis Winston. Always good to see my guy move like that. And it was their version of the tush push, if you will. Then Love, who actually came back into the game in the third, actually later in the second, uh, on a third and long, with 5 minutes to play, throws up a prayer to rookie wide receiver Savion Williams, who hauled it in deep inside Giant territory. And then 2 plays later, Love connects with Christian Watson for his second touchdown of the day, taking the lead with 4 minutes to play. And then this is where we got the typical Jameis Winston fumble, if you will. He didn't fumble, but he did something a little bit worse, and he threw an interception in the end zone, causing the Giants' momentum to basically just crumble at that point with 40 seconds to play. Now, it looked like there was a miscommunication between him and Jalen Hyatt, but honestly, I think you can kind of blame it on Jameis Winston at that point. And yeah, the Giants just kind of fell apart at that moment. And you see that, and you're like, man, Giants just can't seem to catch a break anywhere, right? But yeah, pretty bad nonetheless. Losing a game like that after having a great end of third quarter and fourth quarter, push to tie the game and maybe even take the lead was pretty heartbreaking to watch as a fan. So anyway, and that wasn't like the end of the game, but it kind of was because with 40 seconds left, the Green Bay got the ball back and then ended up punting it to the Giants. And then with 10 seconds left and 1 play, Jameis actually fumbled it after. after the O line just kind of collapsed, and yeah, so that was pretty much the end of the game. Uh, Hopefully the Giants can kind of bring it home against the Lions this weekend. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who starts. We don't know if it's going to be Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston, but hopefully uh, it'll hopefully it'll be Dart. He'll be using concussion protocol. Hopefully he can come back. But anyway, Jameis Winston went 19 for 29 with 201 yards, one interception, and one rushing touchdown. No throwing touchdowns on the day for the G-men. Pretty poor, passing offense there. We're gonna play a quick clip from Giants' new offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly. Was pretty much okay with Jameis's performance there.
Executed the game plan, he was aggressive when we needed him to be. Obviously, there's always going to be plays that you want back. For the most part, I didn't think he exposed the football. There were a couple times there where it got a little hairy, but he did a really good job of executing the plan, getting us in and out of the right play, operating within the offense, and letting the system work for him. He did everything we asked him to do.
So that was Giants' new offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly, on sort of Jameis's performance and how they kind of felt about his performance after the game. I don't know. We'll see what happens this weekend if Dart can play or not. But we'll be right back after a quick ad break.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Becca Bittner, the host of Iona University's news show, Good Morning Gales. My co-host, Nick Waltieri, and I cover everything that's going on here at Gale Nation. We give you all the buzzing campus news you need to know before your first cup of coffee every Friday morning. Make sure to check out our morning show, along with our sports show, Gale Zone, on our IUTV Instagram and YouTube. With hosts Cam Woolley and Chris Solaro, you'll get sports updates from the Heinz Athletic Center to the big leagues. See you there, and as always, go Gales. Now, back to WIUR.
All right, so check out those shows. They're really fun to watch and really informative, and those guys do a great job over there. Anyway, back to the Giants rushing. Again, we had a split backfield between Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary. Now, I said this last week. It was going to be kind of a 50-50 shot to see who would take over the backfield. Devin Singletary did get less carries, but he had more opportunities to score, and that was pretty evident in his touchdown performance yesterday. Over the weekend. He had 2 touchdowns he had 16 carries for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tyrone Tracy, who got more carries, he had more chunk plays, just in terms of game script there. He did play very well. So we'll see who ends up becoming that lead back again. I think with Scadaboo out, they lost a pretty big weapon in that run game. So yeah, I think nobody can really replace him, but I think Tyrone Tracy is going to become that lead back heading into this weekend against a pretty dominant Lions defense. Then Jameis had his one rushing touchdown. Now the receiving was kind of iffy, right? Isaiah Hodgins was our leading receiver for 5 receptions and 57 yards, no touchdowns. I mean, yeah, when that happens, it's just pretty bad, right? But Tyrone Tracy did have a pretty big role in the passing game. He went 4 receptions for 51 yards, which is kind of a pretty monster day for a running back in today's kind of meta, if you will. And then the rest, just pretty underwhelming from there. Now, the Giants defense, when you have guys like Bobby Okereke, Javon Holland, Brian Burns, not really Deontay Banks, but Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, guys like that, you expect big things, right? And when the only guy on the team to have 2 sacks is Brian Burns, that's kind of a problem, right? You want to see those bigger guys up front getting into the backfield a lot, and that just didn't happen against the Green Bay offense, right? The O line pretty much just held them out, and I don't know if that's Shane Bowen, the defensive coordinator. I don't know if that's a knock on him, whether that was just game script or whatnot. But I mean, these guys have to get more active in the defense. Really, we got to find some new method, right? So yeah, overall, very disappointing game. And we're gonna play a clip here from Shane Bowen on his thoughts after last weekend's game.
Didn't make enough plays to win on Sunday. Felt like there were some good things. Thought we responded there after a little bit shaky first half, to be able to close it out late, get the 2-minute stop, and just didn't make enough in the end. Got to find ways to put these guys in position to make plays in the fourth quarter where we can close some of these games out. And same story right now, and fighting to fix it, fighting to find solutions for these guys, and just being able to make the plays when we need them most. Just didn't make enough plays.
And yeah, that was Shane Bowen on his displeasure with the Giants defense. I think he is one of those guys that will not be with the Giants next season. I would like to see a change in defensive coordinator. Too many times we've seen the Giants, get out to an early lead or keep the game close. And in those big moments when you need a stop from the defense, they just crumble, right? So I don't think it's a question of the talent that we have, but I think it's a more of a apparent that the coaching that we have is not good. So we'll see what happens. The Giants head coach position will be open. Maybe we bring in Brian Flores from the Vikings. Who knows? I don't know what his contract is like, but that would be a spectacular coaching pickup for the G-Men. Now, coming up, the Giants take on the Detroit Lions, who are very, very good. We've got sort of a question of who will start this weekend. If Dart is healthy, he will get the start. And if he's not, Jameis will actually get the start. So I've got a lot of stats on Jackson Dart and his current 2025 stats and sort of how they'll match up against the Detroit Lions dominant defense. Now, Dart has played 9 games. He's had 7 starts as a starter. And he's got a 2-5 record. Now, that record doesn't accurately reflect the couple games where he's actually had a lead and the defense has given up the either game tying or game winning score. So his record should be a little bit better than that, but it's not thanks to the defense. Anyway, he's got a 62.7 passing completion percentage. He's got 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns on 3 interceptions, and a 93.5 passer rating. And his QBR lands him in the top 10 so far at 64.8. His rushing stats, he's got 317 yards and 7 touchdowns, kind of emphasizing that dual threat quarterback that he is. Now, a little snapshot of the Lions defense. They're allowing 192 passing yards per game. That's top 10 fewest among the league. So pretty dominant defense there. They allow roughly 6.8 yards per attempt. Their opponent completion percentage is around 62. They've allowed 18 passing touchdowns and 8 interceptions so far. Overall, a top 5 defense in total yards allowed, which lands them around 292 yards per game. So Dart's tendencies, based on his rookie profile so far, like I said, he's a dual threat. So a lot of designed runs. He scrambles a lot. And his 317 yards, rush yards, and seven touchdowns aren't just escape. They're part of the offense, right? Not when he's scrambling and trying to get the first down. He's a big weapon in the rush game as well. He's been pretty efficient so far. He's got 10 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions, so he will push the ball, but he hasn't been reckless. We've seen times where he's had those rookie mistakes, where he's thrown a costly interception in that Denver game, but overall he's looked very good. Um, the Giants use a lot of RPOs, a lot of rollouts, just kind of giving him the ability to make the offense, his own. Really, again, he's fast, he's quick, so using him in that offense kind of keeps the defense on their toes. Now, the Lions' defense tendencies, they're pretty aggressive up front, but they're disciplined. They've got they pressure a lot, but they still keep the yardage relatively low. And against Dart and those designed runs will really stress their defense, I think. And his current low interception rate matches up reasonably against the defense that capitalizes off mistakes. But they don't live off picks. They'll still sack you with, they got Aiden Hutchinson and co. So be on the lookout for that. But how he matches up based off of efficiency, Dart has a 6.9 yards per attempt versus Detroit's 6.8 yards allowed. So that's almost perfect, right? His completion percentage is 62.7 versus the Lions roughly 62% allowed. So again, right at baseline with this defense. So he'll produce exactly the kind of passing efficiency the Lions typically give up. And the differentiator becomes how many sacks they get versus the negative plays and whether he can add enough with his leg to push the overall offense. Offensive output above Detroit's usual averages will be key in trying to take down this defense. With the Lions having 8 interceptions on the season, they're solid, but not among the leaders in the league. Dart giving up 3 interceptions on 204 attempts. That's about 1 interception every 68 attempts. I'd be surprised if he throws the ball 68 times this weekend. But his interception to passing attempt is pretty low. So who knows? Maybe we'll get Dart of the century here, and he'll have a pretty big game. So overall, hopefully he'll be pretty careful with the ball. Again, he is a rookie. Rookies do make mistakes, but I think he's starting to really grow a little bit in this offense, and we'll see if that manifests on the field. Now, red zone and big plays. Dart has 17 total touchdowns. If you can combine passing and rushing in 9 games. So that's almost 2 touchdowns per game by himself. And they've clearly leaned on him with those QB keepers, zone reads, and the play action near the goal line. Now, the Lions defense is allowing 18 passing touchdowns, so not elite at keeping teams out of the end zone. But combined with their low total yards allowed, they generally make other teams work a lot for those touchdowns, for those points. So Dart being a dual threat in the end zone really kind of confuses the defense. Are they going to go for the run? Are they going to lean on those guys at the back end? And yeah, but if Jameis Winston plays, hopefully we get the Jameis of early in his career and throws for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, but he'll also give you like 4 picks. But I'd be worried about Jameis's ability to actually score. Now, we saw a really good offense from him, but the fumble late in the game or at the end of the game, the interception, when we needed him most, certainly doesn't help the G-men at all. So we'll see. We'll see who plays. A lot of these stats are the same, that Jameis, could potentially help the Giants, but he could also potentially hurt the Giants. So we'll see what happens. Now, Detroit's defense is obviously dominant against a weak offense like us. But the Lions offense, you got guys like Jameer Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, guys who are speed demons. And you've got Jared Goff, who is a pretty good quarterback in my opinion. Now, the Giants defense, they've got talent and they've got the guys that could stop an offense like the Lions, but we have Shane Bowen as defensive coordinator. So it'll be really tough to see what happens this weekend. But the Giants have a tall task in taking down the Lions. Now, we'll throw it over to the Yankees because a little bit of Yankees news has come up. And again, like I always say, I have to throw in my Yankees at some point. Now, Trent Grisham, the Yankees offered Trent Grisham the qualifying offer of roughly $22 million. And he accepted. Now, he is going to be part of the team for 1 year. And ultimately, I don't love it. I don't hate it. But clip surfaced earlier today of John Boy Media talking about the Trent Grisham signing before and then sort of how he would feel about it. And I'll play that clip. It's about a minute long, but this will, I think, a lot of fans will agree with.
Announcement is happening today. So if you're listening to this after 4 p.m., here's my reaction if he doesn't accept. Okay. Hopefully the draft pick doesn't hinder Trent that much. He goes and gets his money from a team where he's going to play, be happy, and get a chance to earn his living. A lot of these players have long lives afterwards, and this is their chance to cash in. So go get that money, Trent. And here's my reaction if he does accept the qualifying offer. Oh, this hamstrings the Yankees. If Hal really wants to stay around the 300, 310 mark, he's going to be their center fielder and leadoff guy, which is good if he can do what he did last year, but it kind of feels like an outlier season to just bank on it happening again. Does this hinder Belly? Starter? I don't think you can pay Trent 20, Belly what he's going to get, starter, infielder. So, wow. Okay. I don't know if the Yankees really wanted him to accept.
So yeah, that was John Boy Media talking about the recent acquisition of Trent Grisham again. Yeah, I agree with what John Boy said. He basically is highlighting that the Yankees have a pretty high payroll. They're paying Aaron Judge $40 million, Garrett Cole $36 million, Carlos Rodon just under $28 million, Max Fried $27 million. Cody Bellinger, if they get him, would be around $25 million. Hopefully, he's probably going to need to get paid more. You've got Jazz Chisholm on $18 million. Giancarlo Stanton in the mid $20 million. And then the qualifying offer of $22 million, $25,000 to Trent Grisham. The Yankees are going to be kind of struggling to balance this payroll if they want to get, like John Boy said, a starter, a middle infielder, and Cody Bellinger. It's going to be a lot. So yeah, I personally don't like this, but I'm also a fan of Trent Grisham. If he can copy what he did last year and be that guy, then great. But I am not confident. But people said that after last season, so who knows? But yeah, just something we needed to highlight and bring to everybody's attention. And, the Yankees are making moves, but not the moves that we are expecting yet. So yeah, I think it's going to be an okay season. We'll see what happens next when MLB free agency kicks off in a little bit. But yeah, well, that's it for this episode of your New York Sports Update. We're not meeting next week, but the week after will be our final show. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that one. It's going to be a good one, and we'll bring you all the information when we get it. Thank you for tuning in to WIUR, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.